Well, we're starting this hour taking a look at China as it loosens up its COVID restrictions. Now, this is just coming days after a breakout of protests against the country's zero tolerance approach. Well, for more details, we have Yahoo Finance's Anjalee Khemlani. Anjalee, what's the latest?
That's right, Rochelle. So now we know that China has been actually slowly entering what seems like a removal of its zero COVID policy. We know it entered a dynamic phase where it locked down certain areas or certain buildings rather than entire cities. And now going a step further, the country is now ending mandatory COVID testing in all public spaces and public transport. There's been a reopening slowly of bars, restaurants, and the like in some of the major cities. However, it's important to point out that there are also some areas that are still clinging to some of these zero COVID policies. So it seems like kind of a mixed picture going into the week after this move from the government over the weekend. This also comes after the country has moved back on isolation and quarantine periods for international travel, as well as allowing some individuals to isolate at home if they do in fact have COVID, especially those who are more vulnerable and may not be able to transport to the quarantine facility. So it isn't entirely moving away. However, we are seeing some movement after those protests calling for an end after 3 years of really stringent policies. So that's where things stand right now. In addition, citizens of China no longer have to provide personal information when buying medication for treating certain ailments. So all this goes down to what seems like a reduction as well in contact tracing in that department. So everything moving into what seems like an easing of COVID restrictions for now, especially after they recently saw a spike in cases, but recently seen a bit of a lower number there. So we'll see how this all pans out on the testing front, seeing a removal of testing booths. So now that all moves into traditional clinical places like we see here.